What's up, agents, and welcome back to another division video. The PTS has landed and I am just logging in for the very first time today, and this video we're going to check out all of the new gear. Now I know we had the patch notes, but it doesn't tell you a lot of things. It doesn't tell you cores and all the other nice little niceties that we like to know about. So what I will do, I will delete this agent. I think it's kind of common knowledge by now. If you delete an agent, I think it's going to DC me. This is what happens. Oh no, it's going to let me do it. New agent, select Warlords of New York, and it'll put us straight in at the base of operations with all of the new gear. So you don't have to farm it or do anything silly like that. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. I'm not sure if I've said that, but if I have, I'm sorry. And let's get straight into it because we're just about to hit 100%. Now, I've seen the ramblings on the Reddit. I've seen the ramblings on the Twitch. And I know people are not happy. But I'm going to make a series of videos, kind of make up my own mind as I always do. I don't like to be, kind of be led by others. I like to have my own opinions. This is what we're going to do. But in this video, we're going to make our own opinions. We're going to have a look at some of the gear. And I'll make some other builds with the gear. And we'll just kind of see if it's going to be good. And actually see if we actually need to put forward any PTS feedback. This is the very first PTS. It feels earlier than normal. So hopefully we've got a good chance to get anything changed if it feels rough or it doesn't feel particularly useful, right? So let's have a look. So let's start with the weapons first of all, where we have the Thorn right off the rip. Just ignore the pictures and things like that. There's a lot of stuff in the patch notes saying, the niceties are not finished, so let's not worry about that. Alright, so 1.3 million damage right off the rip, 70 with 8 in the mag. It's coming with damage to armor and shotgun damage. What? Why is that the wrong way around? Shotgun damage should be there. Yeah, look. Shotgun damage to armor. On the Thorn, this is broke. This is broke. Look, the core attributes and the attributes. The core attribute is the damage to armor and the attribute is the shotgun damage and reload speed. Maybe this is a change they didn't intend us to see yet. But weird that it would be shotgun damage here. But anyway, it's got the 3 stats. We would re-roll the reload speed off, obviously. But we've got perfect brazen. Receive 1% amplified damage on the next shot with the weapon for each pellet that hits the target, if at least 4 pellets hit. I've got some interesting testing that I want to try with this, but that will be in another video. We've got the Overlord gun as well. 1.2 mil a hit, 70 RPM and 12 mag. Obviously pay attention. This is with this on, right? So don't pay too much attention to that. But we've got hitting an enemy applies a minus 2% movement speed for each pellet hit for the 5 seconds. Shooting the enemy again will reapply the stacks. So probably PvP based, right? But there we go. They give us a diamond back to play with. Very kindly put on damage to armor, but we'll definitely want to be changing that to damage to target out of cover. But it's good enough to test with, I guess. And we can test that as well. Unusually so though, it's got 8 in the mag and wasn't the increase from 5 to 6. So that's something to keep an eye on as well. Hopefully, we'd rather have more. We'll keep the 8. We're not complaining. We've got an ACS 12 here with damage to target out to cover with brazen on. Perfect. That's exactly the gun that I do want to do some testing with. So that's great as well. And we got the like glue. Again, they give us good stats on these guns. With perfect brazen on as well. So that's great. That's the guns that we've got there. We've seen that. There is no pistols this time. There is not. So okay, they did give us the breaking point in these. Right, so they put the breaking point set on here. Good thing to notice straight off the rip that the core attribute is red. So we've got no silly faffing around with the core attributes this time around. And the same goes to say as well for this brand set as well. It's a red core attribute. We have been missing red core attributes on sets for a while now, making builds particularly difficult when it comes to chest and backpack. So this is a nice breath of fresh air to see the weapon core attribute return. Although these stats are absolutely horrible. But let's take a look at the breaking point set piece as well. So 25% rifle damage and 25% marksman rifle damage from the 2-piece bonus. And then the 3-piece bonus gives us 30% headshot damage and 15% weapon handling. And then we get the on point buff as well. This is like a bigger description than what was in the PTS patch notes, but hitting a shot with a rifle or a marksman grants a stack. Max stack is equal to the weapon's magazine size, which is very interesting because you know, some guns like in the rifle category, for instance, like the Ravenous, have a huge magazine size. Reloading will grant 2% weapon handling and 2% weapon damage per stack for 10 seconds. No stacks are acquired while the bonuses are active. The timer running out will refill your magazine. Switching weapons while the bonuses are active will stop the effect and refill your magazine. Switching weapons while the bonuses are not active will remove the stacks and refill your magazine. So I'm kind of hoping though, with some bigger magazines, that we can never have to reload. That's the impression that it gives me, which would be really nice, but I guess we will see. The chest here comes with point of no return. Increase on point bonuses from 10 seconds to 15 seconds. I kind of feel like you wouldn't want to do that because you kind of want it to run out so it refills the magazine. So it kind of feels counteractive unless I'm missing the point. Maybe I am. Let me know in the comments down below. But then the talent on the backpack is an extra damage increase, and that's usually the way you would want to go. So that one might be a goer, but you know, you get things still like vigilance, and you know, if you're going to be using a rifle with this, then you probably want to be thinking about just using vigilance with a shield. You know, why would you take this? That's always up damage. So there's a lot of things to consider there if this is actually going to be any good. What I don't like, or you know, and this is just from not even trying it yet, is there's no stacks acquired while the bonuses are active, which means, you know, it's a 50-50 up time. And that's 50% of the time that you are technically building stacks and doing nothing. And I kind of don't like it when we get forced into that nature, because we've got Hunter's Fury, we've got Strikers that have stacks all the time. So that might need to be paid close attention to. We don't really need to look at anything else because we've looked at the chest and the backpack, all the gloves and the knees and the holster and everything that you expect. And they are all red cores. There's nothing weird there. Then we've got the Acosta's knee pads. These ones come with a blue core, weapon handling and explosive resistance. Kind of wish it wasn't explosive resistance. That kind of feels like a wasted attribute, especially on an exotic. Yeah, Hasbro, or you know, would have been better, or literally anything else. We've then got escape plan. So vaulting grants 10% movement speed for 3 seconds. After not moving for 5 seconds, receive a 20% movement speed buff for 5 seconds. I'm kind of interested to see if you get that just from standing still and it gives you the 5 seconds when you start moving, or is it literally going to be on a rotation for every 5 seconds that you receive the buff if you don't move. Being applied, a status effect grants 10% movement speed for 5 seconds. So if someone puts one on you, max movement speed bonus is 20%, so you can actually get a couple of buffs at the same time. These bonuses do not stack with movement speed bonuses or other sources. The bit I'm really interested in, and obviously this kind of is leaning to PvP, but the bit I'm really interested in here is this minus 50% movement impairment penalty from status effects. I think this could be really interesting. Perhaps thinking about, you know, what's really annoying is when your shield breaks. I'm wondering if that is going to affect that, and perhaps thinking about the backfire as well. The bleed from the backfire might also benefit from this as well, and that's all things that we'll test in its own video, not in this one today. Right, so what else have we got to check out? Was there actually... So we've got the other gear set. Was that the only exotic gear piece added this time? Yes, it was. Alright, so we have got the other set to look at. The brand set, which gives us 15% magazine size right off the rip with one piece, which is particularly nice. We get 20% rifle damage and 30% weapon handling. Feels like it's been built for the merciless. It literally feels like it's been built for the merciless. So that is pretty interesting. You know, I can see myself running one piece of this for magazine size. You know, if you run one piece with strikers, I feel like you get a decent, you know, the decent magazine size. Like you think on Ouroboros, I feel like that's kind of good. Like, you know what I mean? But we'll try this out at some other point. So yeah, that's pretty good. Then we've got the bobber chest piece, which comes with perfect entrance. If you are below 30% armor, headshots from cover repair 30% of your armor. But I mean, in reality, do people even use entrenched nowadays anyway? Probably minimal. So the fact they give us a perfect version that's not much better kind of doesn't, you know, set me on fire. So yeah, not so intrigued about that. But we have got the Eagle's Grasp gloves as well. And they give 30% weapon handling here. So if you go down here. Oh, all right. So is that a permanent bonus? That is weird. Why would that be yellow? I was expecting it to be higher because it was yellow than what the set bonus is. And it's just the same. So that, again, a little bit weird. Something odd going on there. But then we've got weapon damage, which is kind of cool. But we've got 15% weapon handling down here, which is where you would expect the yellow to be. Maybe because this is yellow, it's taking the code from the brand set bonus and it's just making that yellow as well. Feels like it's probably just a bug because we've never had that combination before. So you know, you get, that's a lot of weapon handling. That's 45% you could potentially have with this set. That's a huge amount of weapon handling, but you are dropping damage because, you know, none of these other ones are damage talents, and I think, you know, maybe it would benefit from this rifle damage being a little bit higher for these to be super useful. But again, if you're doing something like that, these literally could have been an exotic. You know, you could have made these super special and made them an exotic, perhaps with this much weapon handling on. Feels like that kind of would have been cool. But we can get rid of the status effects on here pretty easily. These might be worth a shout. This might be the one piece that you actually use in a build. You know, with the 15% mag size, weapon, you know, the weapon handling is pretty good as well. If you're going to use one piece of this, maybe it's the gloves that, you know, you would throw into your build. So maybe that's something for us to consider as well. There is nothing else to look at. It's a shortfall on gear this time. It's a very small, you know, interim patch. I am a little bit worried that some of these are just basically material based right off the rip, and but we will do some individual testing for that. This video's already gone on for unlucky 30 minutes, but that is all of the gear for anyone that's not able to get on the PTS or just can't bother to download it. Don't forget to like, share, comment and subscribe, and be sure to tune in to the next video where we will start reviewing the individual gear sets and pieces, and just seeing if we can actually make them useful and if they're going to be in our everyday builds going forward, or do we really need to give up some really good feedback because, you know, they're just not quite hitting where they should be for new gear. Let me know in the comments down below what you guys think. Don't forget to like, share, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next one. Thanks for watching, agents. Goodbye.